Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you pretty well. And
Beautiful.
I can also say that we are live. We are already live because I wanted to, warm up and get into the mood because we are going to talk about angels.
Hmm. Yes, definitely. Very good subject.
Very good subject indeed. And you and I have not discussed, not discussed, but talked about angels before. This is the first time, right?
Yes, yes. Mhm.
Hmm, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So let's begin. Before we begin, how are you, Cody? Is everything okay?
Mhm. Yeah, for the most part, maybe not functioning 100% right now. Still kind of waking up and getting uh everything moving properly in my mind. So it might be a little slow today, not be on top of things, but I'll try my best.
You always do. You always do. So we are going to talk about the main subject, angels. So we can start from the top, archangels. Archangels is the master chief of angels. That's the easy way to describe it. And in some religions, there are just three archangels. There are Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael. And in other religions, there are also Uriel. So what should we say about these? Because there are so much more names to the archangels, but let's start with the master archangels.
Yes, well, in certain texts or certain religions, the archangels are described as the warrior angels. They are the ones that are really protecting the realm, protecting humans, protecting Earth, all that type of stuff. Kind of really the spearhead of the fight against evil, if you will, against negative energies. And so they're the ones that typically are described or imaged with like swords or some type of kind of armor type of stuff. But that's obviously not the only thing that they do is protect. They also are very good uh, sources of like protection, if you will, not just of strictly against the evil, but also just for us and personally. They have different tools. Each of them have different tools that you can utilize, or they utilize to help us out with different things. They're also said to work with protecting the collective, if you will. So they don't just protect the individual; they protect the all. And so, yeah.
So we can also say that the archangels are those angels that are closest to God's throne.
Sort of, yeah. I would say the closest ones are the seraphim, uh, and then there's the cherubs, and then I think it's archangels. So archangels might be like third down, but just because seraphim and cherubs are have different roles, if you will. Yeah.
So, but they are of the angelic energy too, because all right, angels and archangels, it's energy, pure
Yes.
energy, and while they are, how should we say, contract themselves, they get a physical form of shape that we can,
Mhm.
yeah, sort of, they are adapt to our belief system of how they would look like.
Mhm. Yes, definitely.
Um,
Yeah, especially with archangels in particular, the like kind of not lower class, but like main group of angels that would be kind of like guardian angels and just those type of angels. They were actually like human at one point. They had to go through the human experience because this is what Bashar and Cryon would say about angels is that they went through the human experience, maybe not on Earth, but maybe some other planet that is sort of like Earth, but human experience, so that they have a relation to us. They kind of understand it, are empathic with it, and but they got into a certain level of consciousness, a certain degree of vibration, and sort of like graduated, if you will, and became angels. And those are kind of that. But the archangels are kind of like above that to where they're more like pure energy. They're a little bit closer to like what Cryon would be, where it's more of like a direct link to source, to God. It's like, you know, um, rather hard to describe, but yeah, they're not
Yeah.
quite the humans that the normal angels, so to speak, would be.
So before we go
Yeah,
any further, we would like to say that we have a small disclaimer here.
yeah,
We
yeah.
don't hold um the truth about
Mm,
angels. We are
mm,
holding our perception of what it could
mm.
be like. So, and
Exactly.
we are
Yes.
basing that on channeling experiences. And you have
Mhm,
Bashar,
mhm,
and I have
yeah,
been channeling Cryon. And
mhm,
Archangel Michael is one of those archangels that are connecting with Cryon. So
mhm,
he's in that entourage that usually
mhm,
is described when we are talking about Cryon and his entourage. So we do not hold the truth, and we are not here to
mhm.
split any religious part or claim
Yes.
otherwise. But we are here to talk about angels because they are close to
Mhm,
our human being form right now.
mhm, mhm. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. We definitely don't hold the absolutes, all that type of stuff. So we're not an educational program, but we're just having fun speaking of what we feel, what we perceive, what our experiences are, and all that type of stuff. So yeah, it's definitely you know,
Yeah.
um, with a grain of salt, if you will.
Yeah, grain of salt. That was a good one. So let's get back to the archangels. So we do know that it's like the master energy of the angels, the chief angels. So
Mhm,
Michael is the most known archangel.
mhm.
I would like to call him almost like he's been a bit idolized.
Yes, very much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it feels this is kind of a bad uh what's it called, like an example, or not an example, but metaphor. If the archangels had a boy band, like they were all in a group, he would be the lead singer, if you will, because he was like the most well known, most up there, most talked about, if you will. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Sorry,
like lead
just
singer.
yes. Yeah.
Well, there is a lot of music and laughter when it comes to
Mhm,
angels. Yeah, he's quite the leader, and he's always the one who is pictured as the guardian and protector of the humanity.
mhm.
So every time there is something global taking place, Archangel Michael and his legion is one of those archangels that are called upon to bring order into our lives again.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Always pictured with the flaming blue sword and that type of thing. Yeah, one of the things I liked. I haven't done it in a while, but I would also ask our Michael, Archangel Michael, to lay down a blue blanket over me when I go to sleep, and it kind of like makes you feel more comfortable. It kind of eases you into the sleep realm, and so you kind of feel protected and kind of comforted. And so that was always a nice tool to use, I guess, if you're having issues going to sleep and all that stuff, is asking Archangel Michael to have a blue blanket set onto you. Yeah.
Hmm,
Yeah.
that's
Mhm.
cute.
Yes.
I was taught
Mhm.
to use a cape, a blue cape, and put
Mhm.
it on myself to protect myself from
Mhm.
energies that wasn't so high for me right at the moment.
Mhm.
So similar
Yeah.
similar
Yeah.
similar
Yeah.
things on how to use the blue light, the blue
Mhm.
ray. So
Yes.
what's the connection between the blue ray and Michael?
Well, I'd say it's his energy is very blue, but also that it was, he's described with having that blue sword, if you will, fiery blue sword, to kind of cut through the negative energies, cut through any ties, cut through any cords that are connected to you, that type of thing. And so I think the blue in relation with Michael is just how people have described him, have experienced him. as being more of a blue energy. Blue energies tends to be a little bit higher frequency, they tend to be a little bit more in the throat chakra, if you will. And so it's very much the singer and very much the vocals. And uh, yeah, sorry. Again, not functioning 100% right now, so I'm trying to get everything
Oh, you will
together.
get there. You will get
I
there.
will get that. Yeah.
So we were told, you mentioned cord cutting, and
Mhm,
that is a hot topic right now, cord cutting. I think
mhm,
Mr. Wilcock was talking about cord cutting the other
mhm,
day here on his
yeah,
live, and
mhm,
cord cutting is very true. It's
mhm,
not a thing that got known yesterday. It has been used for many years, many
mhm.
eon times, because
Exactly.
it's a string of energy that either can connect you to something that will bring, you can almost say, like, if when you are asking for healing, that is somewhat a cord channeling of healing too. It goes the other way. But usually when we are talking about cords, energy cords, and cutting them, is because there is someone who is draining us from energy.
Mhm,
So we are not going to talk right now, but we can say that for later we can talk about what cord cutting really is, and maybe you can describe on how to use cord cutting in real life.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
we are holding that thought. So Michael, that's Michael. Gabriel.
Yeah. Gabriel. Might not be what was written, but when I think of Gabriel, I think of it more of a green light. That's
Mhm.
just what pops into my mind. Is more green, more earthly, if you will. Um, and yeah, there's not much I actually know about Gabriel. Again, I what's it called? Like the average person, I was more into Michael. I have a little bit more experience, I should say, just with Michael, and I don't have as much with Gabriel. The only other one that I have like actual connection with is Metatron, Archangel Metatron. So those are like the two that I actually really know and have experience with. But yeah, Gabriel, I wanted to know much about, so I would have to defer to you with that information.
Mm. Well, when I grew up, I had an Archangel Gabriel as I wouldn't say mentor, but he was more like a father, just he felt very fatherly, like he's someone who was there watching over you, who held this green light. I can also associate Gabriel with the green light, and the protector of children. I didn't know that then, but I felt like he was a protector of my youth, so to speak. And when I started to enter into the topic of healing, Archangel Gabriel was one of those angels that I asked for help and guidance. So he has always been someone that I have turned to get fatherly advice. So for me, Archangel Gabriel is like a heavenly father, if you would like to put it like that. But the thing is that Archangel Gabriel is more feminine in the energy. So you could say that the archangels are unisex.
Yeah, they don't really have a true gender. They have a their energies, and so it's not like they're human where they have to have genders and that kind of stuff. But yeah, how they would probably present themselves is would be different and probably more unisex, more you know,
Yeah,
yeah.
it has Gabriel to me has a more mature approach in that way. But yeah, why I said unisex is because a lot of times we are talking about archangels, like they have their masculine name and they have their female counterpart. So, but they both are the same energy split into duality.
Mhm. Yes, yeah, because we tend to experience things in duality in twos, and
Mm.
we like to have that separation, if you will. um, but yeah, but you know, we might view it or like it to be duality, but they're actually unison, like one. Just like source itself is just one, but we divided it into all these things. But yeah.
Yeah, like Father, Mother,
Mhm.
God.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
So Archangel Raphael.
Yeah, Raphael. Yeah. Again, not sure. That one I actually had the orange color pop up. I'm not sure if Raphael is has orange energy, but that would be different. Usually, we think of higher vibration energies are the ones that are at the higher light band spectrum. The blues, the purples, all that stuff. The orange tends to be a little bit lower, a little bit more root, a little bit more um, grounded, closer to red, all that stuff. Red being very much the root chakra, very grounding type of thing. Um, but yeah, again, I don't know much about Raphael either. So,
Wow.
yeah.
A lot of people associate Raphael with green. And this is a beautiful time to say that just because a archangel or any angel or entity from the higher realms is pictured with a color is not said that it vibrates just in that color, because color is vibrations. So they can show themselves in different lights. They can show themselves with different colors, and depending on who is communicating with them or receiving an energy from the angels, can also receive another frequency or another color. So usually when we seek information on internet, you can get like, this angel has this color, and we get so locked with that color, so we don't recognize the vibration of the angel holding that color. So yeah,
Mhm.
I never picture Raphael with orange, but when you talking about the orange right now, it feels very soft and calming. Archangel Raphael is also vibrating in the air, and this is something that I have picked up from a different teaching from the shamanic world, and it's not a shaman that comes from your side of the globe. This is more the shamanic energies that we are presented with in the northern hemisphere up here. So I've been taught that Archangel Raphael is a energy. Raphael's energy is connected to the airborne spirits, like the dragon energy.
Mm.
Does it
Yeah.
resonate with you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's especially when you said the airborne spirits. I was like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense. Especially when you said like dragons. For some reason, whenever I picture dragons, dragons tend to have this orange color to them. Like for me, they tend to be a little bit more orange, and I think that might just be me associated them with the fire breathing dragons. Therefore, the fire coming out it tends to be like this red orange type of in color. But again, that's just probably my mind twisting things. But I do think of just dragons as orange, and therefore Raphael would probably come up for me as orange. Um, yeah, definitely very fluid, very um, free.
Yeah, and a very fast energy. It's a
Yeah,
high vibrational energy because
yeah,
it's air, so, or almost ether. So that was those, and then we have Archangel Uriel.
yeah. Now that one's one that I really don't know anything about. I like the name, but again, I probably should have done a lot more research on stuff.
I think you should have, Cody.
Yes, I literally have a book called Angels right next to me, and
I suggest you are going to
Re-
find Uriel in there. Uriel.
yeah.
Yeah, well, what can I say about Uriel so far? You can check your book there, and I will talk from my own experience here. Because
Uh-huh.
Archangel Uriel was someone I was a bit afraid of when I was a little girl. So,
Mm,
but when I grew up and became adult,
mhm,
Uriel
mhm,
started to be more present in my mind and in my energy field, and we're really connected. Um, really connected. You don't really connect with archangels, but you can tap into those energies. So it's not like we are
yes.
having a tea party in my garden, but he is invited if he wants to come. But
Mhm,
uh, I felt drawn to his energy, and I call him
mhm,
his because the energy is for
mhm,
me very, very old, very ancient, and very, very masculine and powerful. And I have no picture of Uriel, so when I speak of Uriel, I don't see a painted face or a icon, a
mhm,
religious icon. So it's more like an energy, but it's a very, very nice energy. Um, a bit reserved,
mhm.
warm
So,
but reserved.
yeah,
But it's very
yes.
comforting. Comforting. Have you found him?
Yeah, I found the Archangel section of it.
Good
But
work, Cody.
yes, but I guess this is a very old book as well, and therefore um, they don't have any of the names. And so it basically just has Archangel overview. There's not really much in here about them. It's weird because it's like they have these big sections for all the other types. The cherubs and seraphims and thrones and all that stuff. And archangels has this little like 3 sentences. It's like nothing to him. I was
Mm.
like, what? Yeah, it's this giant book and only 3 sentences for archangels. Okay.
Yeah, for those who
Okay.
are really interested in archangels, you can Google. There's so much information you can find there. But if you are Googling about angels, so be aware that even if it's, I think if you Google Uriel, it says it's the crystal is amber, and that is a beautiful stone, absolutely. Archangel Uriel also is resonating with a ruby, and not many may know that, but
Yeah,
he
rubies.
does. He
Yeah,
does.
yeah,
So
yeah.
this is the
That's so
colors
cool.
and the frequencies and the vibrations we were talking about
Mhm,
earlier.
mhm,
You can't put a energy into a box and say that
yes. Mhm,
it's all information is here and there is nothing more. No,
mhm,
the only thing that is still in the box is a fragment of a. They are almost like a
mhm,
universe, their own
mhm,
universe,
mhm.
because there
Yes.
are huge
Mhm,
energetic field around them. So Uriel is someone who I would like to connect with when I need to be in a better mood. It's
mhm,
not cheerful, so it's not like
mhm,
there's a good joke and you start to
mhm,
laugh, but you
mhm,
feel so um I should say almost like you are your soul is getting healed when you're in the present. You feel very, very protected there. So
yeah.
that is my experience
Mhm,
of Uriel. I have a lot of
yes.
experience and I'm not going
Mhm,
to talk about them here
mhm,
because it's more private experience in channelings. So We are not going to talk about them here. So that is the 4 pillars of archangels that the most people are aware of. But there you have a lot of other angels, and you've been talking about Metatron, and we do know that Metatron has a special place in your heart.
Yes, definitely, very much. Yeah, I did want to say that the first sentence with the archangel section here says the archangels are an odd bunch. They're an odd bunch. That's just kind of made me
They
giggle a
are.
little bit. I was like, yeah, they're an odd bunch.
So,
Yeah.
is
Oh,
that
yes,
all it
yes.
said?
Yeah, that's like it said that, and then it defers to if you want more information, go to chapter 2. I was like, what? I can't find.
Okay.
Okay,
So
yeah.
we are just going to share what we are knowing.
Yes,
So yeah.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Metatron definitely has a more of a. Or I have a little bit more of a connection with Metatron, especially with just how I, you know, have studied kind of sacred geometry and different geometric forms, all that stuff, different energies that deal with frequency and kind of like how the frequencies are related to different geometric forms, all that type of stuff. Um, I view him or kind of have sensed him as kind of like the intelligent one, if you will. Like he like holds the wisdom, if you will, and imparts that wisdom to others when they need it or want it. And so, like, yeah, he's the like it's a weird image, but when I think of him, I think of him like sitting down next to a fire, reading a book with the glasses on. Just like, hmm, yes, yes. That's again just a weird image. But
Wise
yeah,
guy.
yeah, just the wise guy, right? Like, yeah.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, and most people would know him as the or know the name from Metatron's cube, the geometric form that kind of shows all the platonic solids within that one image. Um, but yeah, he's very much I don't know, like I wouldn't say serious, but he definitely isn't one that you're gonna sit down and have a humorous conversation with. He's definitely going to kind of get to the point, if you will. He's going to deliver the information and then get out of there. But definitely has a very um, I'd say like strong presence when you are interacting with Metatron. You definitely know it. He's not going to shy away from making his presence known. And that's kind of what I like about him. I always say he, she, all those things. Okay, but yeah, it's like there's no beating around the bush with him. And that's what I like. I like getting to the point and then just get it done, efficient. Um, but yeah, lots of meditations with them, lots of guided meditations where I would basically have him sit down and kind of teach me a little bit more about how the different platonic solids and different geometric forms relate to the world, how they interact with reality and, that type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we have been doing some of these chat talks with Metatron before. So if someone is curious about what that was about, it's on YouTube and Facebook. And Cody's a master of the different, I was about to say diagrams, but I I lost the
Yeah, all
word.
right.
The
Yes, yeah,
symbols,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
oh, what do you call them?
Yeah. So it'll be sacred geometry,
Yeah,
basically.
sacred geometry. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything is
Mhm.
sacred geometry, but
Mhm.
with Metatron, it's as you said, business from the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But that is almost a request from the angels that you have a direct question or a direct desire when you are talking to them. And so this just calling out, crying out, and not be in a to not be precisely about what you are asking for is not so popular.
Yes, yes, yeah. It's kind of you don't want to evoke them or call them and be like, hey, do something. It's
Hmm.
yeah, you kind of want to have some type of intention with it. You know, definitely.
Yeah, and they're always around.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Because they're, when you connect with them, are, I should say, they're uh, connected with source with all things. Therefore, they have connection at all times with all things. So they're always there, man.
Yeah, and then they usually appear when it's something that is taking place, like you are driving a car and you're suddenly in the almost in the ditch, and you suddenly are back on the road again, and you feel like there was an angelic touch to the car, so you are right back where you should
Mhm,
be.
mhm,
And the presence are, the energy is all around us, and they do want us to ask for help. So it's not that
mhm,
they doesn't like to have us calling or asking for help, but they do want us to be very clear of what it is we are asking. And with that, Cody is frozen. His picture has frozen. So I am going to keep talking here, and Cody will probably be right back here. When you are connecting with a angel, you need to have your certain question or the reason why you are connecting with that angel. Oh, you're back. Oh, you're frozen once again. This is one of those days when the eat. Oh, he's lost. Lost in the translation. You need to be very clear of what it is that you want to ask them, but don't be afraid to ask for help because that is their job. They are, if we have our duties or job or whatever we want to call it, their call, their mission for the moment. So they have this mission of helping people, and you need to be direct with your question in order to receive help. So you can't tell the archangels or any angels that you want to have the help delivered in a special way. You actually need to put the request to the angel tables and let them work the magic because they are not working against any free will. They are
mhm,
always looking out for the higher good for everybody that is
mhm,
involved in the process of the request.
mhm.
So your picture was frozen.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah. Yours was frozen for me, and it just kind of cut me out and then brought me back in. So that was good.
yeah. It's one of those days.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
we were
Mhm,
talking about the purpose of connecting with angels.
mhm.
So we need to be aware that we can ask for anything, but we can't dictate on how it should be delivered.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the way to manifest, as Bashar would say, is to have the image or have the thing that you want, really solid, so it gets you into the vibrational frequency of that thing, and then let go of any expectation that it has to come in that specific way. And so, yeah, when you're asking for any help or guidance from angels and all that type of stuff, it kind of has that same thing of really have the intent, the picture, the thing that you really want to get you into the vibration of it, and then asking them or whatever, and then dropping it, kind of just letting them do what they do best.
Yeah, it always works out for the best. So we could talk about the other angels that are also called archangels because the archangel was a another word for the master chief of angels in a special field. So we do have Ariel, we have Oh, I can't remember any angels right now because of
Right.
that. But we do have a lot of other archangels. Saniel, um, we have Haniel. We do have a lot of archangels, and they all have these legion of angels working with them. So they are, so to speak, the chief, the bosses of, or guides for other angels in their work with humanity and other worlds out there in the ether, in the cosmos. Um, so, but when we started, we were talking about, I said that the archangels were closest to God's throne, and you said that there was Seraphim.
Yeah, seraphim. Yeah, and in the text, or as the Bible say and all that type of stuff, they would say that the seraphim is the closest
Seraphim.
one to, yeah, seraphim, because they're the ones that are always like right next to God, always praising His name. They are kind of like the protectors of His throne, as they would say, and yeah, so the seraphim are always kind of viewed as surrounding God's throne, always singing to Him, always praising His name, all that type of stuff. Yeah, so apparently that's the one that there's, that might not be like the highest, like in the hierarchy or whatever, but they are the ones that might be closest to that. But Goran, this is all symbolic and all that type of stuff. It's not like there's an actual throne for God, because God is source and source is everything. So yeah. Um,
Yeah, so I think when we are picturing the
mhm,
image of this seraphim
mhm,
singing to
mhm,
God, I do have seen those pictures before, and
mhm,
like every picture that we have,
mhm,
it's our vision of how we would like
mhm,
to see them because we can't grasp the huge
mhm,
the
yes.
huge
Mhm,
picture of what it
mhm,
really would look like. So
mhm,
therefore you can say if God is a source and source is energy, pure energy, and you have these seraphims singing around
mhm,
this source, it's probably more of a vibration with a high resonating tone that to us is perceived as singing.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it's actually interesting. Our image of angels with the wings and all that type of stuff actually came from ancient Persia. So Persian, a Persian religion called Zoroastrianism. Is it
Hmm.
Zoroastrianism or whatever?
Yeah.
Kind of one of the oldest ones that have the angel image in there, but it's obviously changed over time to where we now view the angels as beautiful, all that type of stuff. That actual the angels of like being perfectly embodied and wings, all that type of stuff actually kind of really got big in the Renaissance age because the Renaissance age was all about art and beauty and all that type of stuff. But before that, in medieval times, angels were often looked at as like uh, scary. They're like
Yeah.
yeah, they're kind of like those are really powerful beings. Don't mess with them. So they're kind of like a little hesitant to even talk about them and kind of that type of thing. But then the Renaissance came in and kind of brought in the beauty aspect of them. And so they're a little bit more
They glorify
relatable.
the angels. They
Yes, yeah.
glorify the picture, the image of
Mhm,
angels. It's quite
mhm,
interesting that you're talking about this because we are drawn to things that are beautiful. So if we would have this vision or picture of the early version of
mhm,
how they were
mhm,
seen,
mhm.
they are not
Yeah.
so beautiful as we would like us to believe that they are right now. So I have seen drawings, and there has been this giant eye and
Mhm,
wings that are covering the eye. Yeah, they
mhm,
see
mhm.
pretty scary.
Yeah, exactly. Like what they would call biblically accurate angels
Yeah.
are don't look human at all. They would appear kind of like a monster or something like that. And so that's why usually if in some of the stories of angels appearing, they often would like the first words are human, be not afraid, because that type of thing appearing would kind of freak you out a bit.
Yeah.
but but it's more of just the energy. It was so intense that it's like human being unafraid. um, but
And
yeah,
I
that's
can and I do believe that if someone is connecting with that type of energy and
mhm,
not prepared of its other form that they are
mhm,
showing themselves within,
mhm.
would be pretty sure that you are connected with some other entity of the lower density that we are
Yes.
calling the lower density angels and demons. So
Yes.
that's the opposite from each other. So because they uh, aren't they don't have that look
Yes.
that Vogue
Yeah.
is
Yes. Yeah.
requiring.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. Yeah. And there's all, there's all the different types of angels, all that type of stuff, like the seraphim, the cherub, and all that stuff. And each one have like a particular picture associated or image to them. And the seraphim are said to have like four or six wings or something like that. And four of them are always like covering themselves, and two are actually out. Then like the throne is viewed as like a wheel of eyes, you know,
mhm,
and they have like the wings and are and but it's like just imagery. It's imagery of the wheel because they're supposed to move around very quickly and all that type of stuff. And so it's all these different things, and the multiple eyes are kind of represent them being able to see everything, all that type of thing. So it's very interesting how we've taken symbology and put it into an image and made it seem pretty, intense.
definitely. I'm going to see here if I can. Is it whiteboard? Let's see if I can share an image. No, that was nothing. It has changed a bit. The Zoom has changed its settings, so I haven't. Come on, let's see. Here it is. So let's see if I can. I'm just opening up here. So if you Google seraphim, this is one of the images that you can receive. You have the six wings and you have
Mhm.
the eye there. And
Mhm.
this is just an image. It's not the correct image
Mhm.
either, but
Mhm.
it's pretty powerful.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, like yeah, some people might be afraid of it, but I think that's just oh, my word for it is epic. It looks epic, so it's really
It kind
cool.
of does. It has this all the eyes that are seeing just about
Mhm.
everything in this pure light, and that is
Mhm.
behind itself. It's like
Mhm.
the source is actually just pouring from behind,
Mhm.
and the source of God.
Mhm.
Yeah, quite beautiful.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, that is not the typical angel that we are praising or want to see in when we are connecting. But if you should see something similar, you shouldn't be afraid, right?
Yes. Yeah. Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid. So yeah, and I also seen picture of this with a wheel around
Mhm.
and
Yes.
almost like a belt. Yeah, there's
Mhm.
so many pictures, and some are
Mhm.
not the
Mhm.
most well done pictures.
Yes.
So and the
So,
cherubs, they have wings on
mhm.
the heels.
Yeah, well, different images of cherubs are like the more, I guess, recent depiction of cherubs are usually baby formed, like born. They're like kind of chubby-ish babies with tiny little wings and a harp, so almost like a Cupid looking type of thing,
Yeah.
Um, but the actual like old school cherub would look closer to like what that image is, where it's like wings that are basically made up of its entire body. It's like his wings. There's no human body to it, but there is a human face right in the middle. And then it's all the wings are kind of wrapped around the human face. And yeah, they're kind of supposed to be like the guardians of the throne, so to speak. They're always like at God's side, if you will, just as the seraphim are always singing his praise around him. They're like the ones guarding the gates of heaven, if you will. You know.
Yeah, almost like protectors. So I was about to say watchers, but they are not watchers.
Yeah, yeah. Watchers are a different brand of angel. They're, you know, I think those would be called like the dominions, yeah, a certain type of angel. But yeah, there's the watchers, and they literally that's their job. They watch everything and report back to whoever, you know. Yeah.
But they haven't been around from the beginning. They are
Yeah.
expendable, so they are being replaced, even though it's so many, many years, more than we can count, but they are following the evolution, so they are in the evolution state themselves.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So like it's watches from the old days and there are new watches. So with that information, would you say that we are entering into a new time where we are bringing in some new watchers?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because you know, with the evolution or the ascension of us, there's also new angels being, you know, born, if you will, or you know, kind of the graduation of human into angel. Therefore, there's going to be constant kind of flow, if you will, of new angels, which means there's a constant flow of new watchers as well, kind of going into their different roles that they would choose to pick. You know, and so yeah, there's kind of a flow always happening. You know, and with the ones that you know the old watchers, if you would say, they would might graduate or move on to a different existence, different form of being. You know? So we're constantly going up the ladder of spiritual awakening, if you will, our spiritual knowledge and consciousness, all that stuff. It's always going up, and eventually we just get right back to source.
Mm. Because you were talking in the beginning of how these archangels had been in a human form from the beginning somewhere in the cosmos. So this is something that is happening to a lot of people who has lived the final days here on Earth. They are moving into another realm, and some of them are depicted as ascended masters, and some of them are evolving into like guardian angels, earth angels. Earth angels are more bound to Earth and can be in a physical form.
Yes, yeah, they can present themselves truly physical, truly human. That's why you know Jesus's teachings. You know, what he would often say. You know, always be nice to everybody because you never know when you're actually interacting with an angel. You know, you never know who you're actually interacting with because they can show up as strangers, as beggars. They can show up as all these different, you know, all these different instances, and you know, there's always some type of lesson to be learned or something to be gained from that. Yeah.
So if you don't want to be nice to your next fellow, be nice because you never know if there is a angel. So you better be nice. Or Santa Claus. Santa Claus. Better
Yes.
be nice.
Better be nice. Yeah.
Yeah, better be nice. But yeah, that's Earth angels. So let's talk about the angels just above our atmosphere. Those who we are referring to guardian angels.
Yeah, guardian angels. Yeah, there's some that believe that every single person has a guardian angel. Others believe that there's kind of a limited number of guardian angels. But I'm more in this section that there's kind of like, you know, one for every person, but that one could have multiple people that it's guarding, because when you're at that level of existence, you're not bound by time and space, so you can be at multiple places, multiple times, all that stuff. And yeah, so the guardian angels are more the individual protectors. They might not work too much for the collective like an archangel would. They might not do big global events or anything like that, but they might do little events like your example of the car going into the ditch or whatever. That's they might be there to be like, oh no, okay, come back over here. Um, that type of stuff, and always the one that you can connect with if you're kind of feeling lonely, type of thing. Like Archangel, you might not want to just sit and have a conversation with, or just kind of have them sit with you because they want that more, direct, intention, all that stuff. But a guardian angel would be a little bit more likely to just sit around and comfort you for, just because, type of thing. Yeah.
Just because it's their job to do so,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
because they are
Yes, exactly.
kind and
Yes,
see
that's
the
kind.
need in
Mm-hmm.
our human strive to be more angel-like here on earth. Well,
Mm-hmm.
but these guardian angels, they really are close to us here on our physical plane, even though most of the guardian angels doesn't have a human body or taking a human form and walking upon earth. They are present and they can actually be in a physical vibration where they can reach you. So
Mm-hmm.
I had
Mm-hmm.
this friend once upon a time who had
Mm-hmm.
a small boy. He
Mm-hmm.
wasn't that old. I don't know, 11 years old. I can't
Mm-hmm.
remember. But he didn't like the darkness. He didn't like
Mm-hmm.
when it got in the evening when everything
Mm-hmm.
got dark, and they lived
Mm-hmm.
out in the forest there in a
Yeah.
house, and they had forests around them. And he didn't like to, go to the bathroom in the middle of the night because he was
Mm-hmm.
too scared of the
Mm-hmm.
darkness. So
Yeah.
every time he went into the bathroom, someone was tapping him on the
Mm-hmm.
shoulder, and he was terrified about this. So
Mm-hmm.
they went
Mm-hmm.
to was someone who was channeling, and
Mm-hmm.
they were connected to his guardian angel, who
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to reassure him that he
Mm-hmm.
was there and protecting him, that he wasn't alone and he shouldn't be afraid.
Yes.
I think that is so cute. He
Yeah,
was
exactly.
scared. He was so
Hmm.
scared. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and that's one of the things that can also happen is they have good intentions, but we don't receive those good intentions, or we misinterpret it and all that type of stuff. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, but they are the most frequent energy that is surrounding us. So even if we are calling upon, for example, Archangel Michael, there are more likely that there is someone in his legion than the because they are working on the same frequency and the same vibration, and the guardian angel could tap into that frequency and be the conduit of the energy that we are connecting with. So when we have this, more confident chats with an archangel or our guardian angels, it probably is not the archangel. It's more likely to be our guardian angel working on the frequency of an archangel. That is my experience.
Yeah, definitely. Like a good example would be channeling itself. You're channeling an energy through it, and information coming through. Might not be interacting with or if you're channeling to somebody else, that person isn't actually interacting directly with that being that you're channeling, but the being is going through you to you know, relay information. So it's, yeah, just like a channeling, just like a vibration coming through. Yeah.
Hmm. So if we want to connect with archangels and if we want to connect with our guardian angels and earth angels, so uh, I like to do that in meditation. I like to have a question that I want to address, or I can also just, express a feeling or an emotion. But when I want to receive the answer, I like to go into meditation, or at least calm myself and listen inwards, because in the silence they are talking. And someone said if you are quiet enough for proper amount of time, you will hear the angels speak.
Yeah, definitely. It's yeah, you kind of don't want to be having some, busy, out doing, chores or, shopping or something like that, and be asking for, the question to be answered, because there's too much happening. You kind of do need to have that space that allows that, that energy, the frequency, the answer to come, and having the silence, the kind of allows those frequencies to settle down a bit more into you, and so they're more likely to hear the things because you're not, covering it up with all this other mental, stuff happening. So yeah, it's definitely and I believe they're. It's not like constantly talking, but like you can. There's always some interaction happening with them, and so when you're calm enough, then you get to actually hear the interaction or be more aware of the interaction.
Yeah, because it's not always you hear a voice, another voice. You
Mm-hmm.
can hear your
Mm-hmm.
own thoughts within
Mm-hmm.
your own voice,
Mm-hmm.
or you get a hint, a feeling of how it should be handled if you have a situation or problem you want to have a second opinion on, or asking for help to solve it. You can get these indications of how to do that, and you can also receive help from an outer source. Like you can read about it in a newspaper, someone else's experience, or being just connected with the right people who are sharing their experience on how they were solving that problem. So the answers comes in different ways.
Yes, yeah, it's allowing synchronicity to happen, allowing it to flow in how it needs to, just like we were talking before. You don't have to have it that answer be in a specific way, or you're expecting it to be in a certain way, and all that type of stuff. It might not come that way because you're almost limiting their ability to uh, help if you're saying it has to be this way. It's kind of
Mhm.
limiting when you're opening them up to be like, I want this answer, or can I have an answer to this question? Then allowing them to be able to figure out the best method to give you that answer. Yeah.
Yeah. So that brings us back to what we started with. We were talking about that blue blanket that you had,
Mm-hmm.
and the cape that I use when I need to protect myself. We were talking about Archangel Michael's, because we can summit or call upon the archangels for guidance, protection, and ask them to assist us in certain uh, episodes in our lives. Is that a correct
Mm-hmm.
word to describe it?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it'd be different challenges that we're going through, that type of thing. Yes.
Yeah. So then we were talking about cord cutting, and many of us is seeing Archangel Michael with a sword, and when he waves, it is almost like an energetic energy moving like a wheel behind the
Mm-hmm.
sword. So then you see the energy like a wave,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
wave,
wave. Yeah,
wave.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of imaginary pictures that are coming when we are talking about this, but it
Mm-hmm.
is a energetic frequency that is useful for us to actually use. And this
Mm-hmm.
protection sword is something that a lot of us is using to, clean the room,
Mm-hmm.
clean our auras and
Mm-hmm.
the sphere around us. So cord cutting, what exactly is cord cutting?
Yes, well, it'd be basically getting rid of the attachments to others, to things that are draining your energy, that you might not even know that you have this, these cords that are constantly coming out. It's, energetic, tethers to these things. And so it's weighing you down, it weighs us down and drains us, and all that type of stuff. And so cord cutting is the action of being able to sever those cords, sever that tether that you have to an individual or an object, a place. So yeah, it's good practice to kind of not constantly, but to once in a while have a kind of a clean slate happen. So asking Michael to cut the cords so that you can kind of start fresh. Um,
Do you have any experience of doing cord cutting yourself?
Yes, yes. Uh, actually, even though I said it's good practice to do it once, often I actually haven't done it in a while. But yeah, it's again a good thing to be in like a meditative situation or kind of calm place to do it, because you don't want to be all active and all that type of stuff while doing it. And it's kind of just, you don't even have to have the exact thing that you are attached to in your mind or anything like that. You obviously can if you have a specific person that you know that you're attached with, and you can be like, yeah, I want that cord cut, but just having it, the intention of having the cords that might be invisible to you or unknown to you sever away, just kind of and melt away. And I do like using the imagery, like when you say the images of the sword and the blue energy that comes with it. That's kind of like tapping into the frequency that is needed to have the event happen. So what Bashar would kind of call permission slips. It's having the vision, having that thing is a permission slip to allow you to do the thing, have a certain thing, uh, achieve a certain goal, if you will, achieve a certain thing. Yeah. Yeah.
So can you describe how to
Mm.
proceed with a cord cutting?
Yeah. So in a meditative space, you would have the intentions that you are wanting, the cords cut, and so you'd either ask Michael or you would use the sword yourself. You can basically borrow the sword, just have the imagery of you having it, and you can, if you're doing it, yourself, you can literally just have the actions of going around your body, just cut, all that type of stuff. Or if you're asking, Michael to do it, then sitting still and kind of just feeling when there's like a lightness, once if you have like tensions and all that type of stuff, and having that his sword go around and you feel lighter afterwards, and then you kind of know that it was successful and all that type of stuff. Yeah, it's very simple. It doesn't need to be complicated or have multiple steps or anything like that. It's just having the attention to do so and kind of following through with it. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there is so many different ways to do this, and it's
Mm-hmm.
all
Yes.
all the intention of what you are putting in there when you are doing this. It's almost like a ceremony. You are sitting usually in a meditation, and you are following certain steps and using the sword to do this cord cutting. And you said that uh, it could be a energy drawn from another person, and a lot of times that is so true. It definitely could be. It could be other entities too. It could be
Mm-hmm.
other entities. You can have this karma with you from past lives that are there with you in this life too. And a lot of the course that we have within us is given by us by permission. We are
Yes.
allowing those to build up and form this cord with someone else or something else. And that is pretty scary how
Mm-hmm.
easily we are giving away our own power, because every time we are giving away our energy to someone else, or an entity or someone else, we are losing a bit of ourselves. Sharing is caring, absolutely, but when you are giving from your own flow of source, your energy, it's not sharing anymore.
Yes, yeah, you want to hold on to that life essence, the I was going to say vitality, but more of um, the core of yourself. You don't want to be getting rid of something that would be useful to you in your life. You kind of need all the energy that we can get, just to survive. And so when you're losing some of it to others, and you don't even know that you're, allowing yourself to do that, then it can definitely get like you said, it's a little scary how easily we can just allow others to almost take over, to have control, or not just full control, but uh, allowing them to, grab onto our essence, and take away from it.
Mm.
Yeah.
So with doing this cord cutting ceremony, we are actually, getting our power back.
Yes, exactly. You're receiving back all the stuff that you allowed other people to borrow, if you will, or take. And so it's not just healthy, but it's empowering. It's allowing yourself to kind of feel yourself again, feel a new you, a better, better you. Yeah.
Yeah, and we do want to
Mhm.
have our power. Yeah,
Yes. Exactly.
definitely.
Yes.
So do you have a meditation that you want to share with us?
Um,
Or do you have any healing, or is there
yes.
anything that we have forgotten to talk about?
Um, well, I don't know. We kind of got deep into the archangels and different stuff like that, but maybe kind of more uh, basic stuff of like what religions have. There's multiple religions that have angels within depicted into it. You got the Christian, obviously, then you got Muslim, you got Judaism, you got Hindus also have the angels in them. So there's multiple religions, multiple cultures that have angels depicted into them. So it's not uh, you know not limited to just the Christian Bible angel type thing. So they're kind of what the mass people believe is it's religious and all that type of stuff, but it's also spiritual. It's also so it doesn't have to be like you said, put into a box. It's
So just
yeah,
remember, we haven't talked about the Book of Enoch.
yeah, yeah. The band, they're
Yeah.
the band one from the Bible. Yeah. Um,
So we're saving that
yeah,
for another chat.
yeah, possibly just because again, I not functioning 100%, and I really wanted to do more research, and I did the research and forgot a lot about it. And so that's why I'm kind of like, I know some stuff, but then I'm like, I know it, but yep, forgot. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a chat that we are sharing with others. So we are getting the information that we do want to talk about. So
Yes. Yeah.
uh, I'm curious about what stone you are going to use in this healing session that we are going to have now.
The rose quartz. Yeah, I thought talking about angels and all that type of stuff. It's really like a heart. It's a love, a love energy. And so,
Mhm.
rose quartz is a good one for opening up the heart, opening up love, and so opening yourself up for angels to work with you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
scene is
Yeah.
yours.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So, what we're going to be doing now is basically crystal healing. I'm going to be sending you energy from the rose quartz. And if you're wanting this energy, just verbally or internally say that you want this energy. If you don't want it, it won't touch you. All right. So let's move it over here. Okay. Let's get into it. Okay. Yeah, that was a small, quick, little energy healing, if you will.
That was very different. Rose
Yeah,
quartz is a very soft energy. Usually, I associate very very soft energy, very loving energy, not so dynamic. But this time, I felt a quite dynamic energy coming in. It started with it all got a bit of, you're in the cosmos, everything is a darker tone, and you have this pillar of light, very white light, pouring in, and a bit of yellow around it. And when it comes in, there was this light that formed the base of a triangle, a multi-dimensional triangle, almost like a pyramid. And the top of the pyramid was pointing from my left out to the left. So it wasn't a solid shape. It was almost like stars building the base, you know, of a pyramid, and this geometric thing that we were talking about in another show. So that was kind of powerful, but it also came in this pillar of light, a not a sword, it was more like a long knife, a dagger, and I would call it an Asian symbol wrapped around the dagger. And I have no clue and I have no feeling of what that means. It definitely has something to do with the cord cutting we were talking about, obviously. So that is a quite powerful image that are imprinted into my mind right now.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, the dagger, like talk about the cord cutting, it's kind of like a ritual. We're talking about kind of like ritual, and in Wiccan and pagan rituals, there's often a dagger associated with it. So it might have been there's a specific name that they use for it, but I can't remember that name. But yeah, there's always some type of dagger around with Wiccan and pagan rituals. And so yeah, it could have been part of just the image of the of a ritual. Yeah. Yeah.
I can hear them in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
gotta have some humor in this. Yeah.
Mhm.
What that's interesting. What did you receive anything?
Uh, um, it was more pressure, like because I was like sending the energy through. Like you said before, usually rose quartz is much softer, but this time there's a lot of like heat and pressure on the hand coming out. And so yeah, it definitely had more intensity to it. And which is kind of yeah strange for a rose quartz. But and within what I was doing, I was also kind of saying, can somewhat calling upon the angels that we were talking about to help guide it and make it flow more efficiently to the places that it needs to go, on type of thing. Um, so I think with the extra help, it kind of might have pushed a little bit more intensely. Yeah.
We appreciate that energy boost that they were giving us. So thank you
Yeah.
to our
Yeah.
guardian angels and all the
Mhm.
angels around us that are always with us one way or the other. So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
this we usually stop our chats with a healing with Cody. So I guess we are in the end of this session.
Exactly.
Or
Yes.
chat.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of funny. I think the one thing that probably should have started with, maybe you've already mentioned it before I got in, but the word angel literally translates to messenger. And so just a quick, yeah. So the messenger, the message. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
forgot to mention that.
Yes. Yeah.
But it definitely
Yes.
comes with a message. Angels
Yeah.
definitely comes with a message. So,
Yes. Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
say thank you. Well,
Yes.
thank you, Cody.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for having me and all that stuff. Yeah.
It's always a pleasure to talk with you. So
Mhm.
we are we going to set a topic for the next chat right now, or
Mm, not sure. Yeah. Nothing is like, you know, uh, coming through for it. So I think we might have to meditate on what should be the next one. But yeah.
we will just make it a surprise.
It shall be a surprise. Yes. Yeah.
So, well,
Mhm.
to anyone and for those who are tuning into the replay here, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching.
Yes.
And this is Cody Bryce. Thank you for being here. And I'm Eva, and we will be back later on. So take care. Bless you all. Bye bye. And let's see.